back at it again after finishing up the Sprag install. I went ahead and you know, bought some trans fluid because some kind of made its way out of the car, or the transmission. And I also wanted to get myself a creeper. That's right, a good old Harbor Freight junk. Look, I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing stuff on the floor, let's be honest, so I didn't want to get a very expensive snap-on creeper. So we'll see if this works for now, so that it saves my back. I had terrible back issues after messing with the trans for about 4 hours on the ground. Not pain, more like rubbing chafed back because I was fucking around on the ground. So today I'm gonna install the trans, put the converter in, put the trans in. I'm gonna try to get it started, but if not, I'll edit that in. It might take a couple of days because I have to travel today. So I have about 3 hours or 4 hours to play with. I'm gonna go ahead and make as much headway as I can installing the transmission, get the converter in, get some fluid in it. If I can get the trans and drive shaft in, I'm just gonna throw the X pipe in and start the car and make sure it goes through the gears fine, and you know, leave buttoning up the rest for when I come back. But enough talking, let's get to work. Enough BS, because I've BS'd you enough. So let's just get right to work. Okay, because I feel like I robbed you guys from the video of me taking the trans out. I'll try to slowly give you tips, or not tips, I'll show you how I did it. So I did not get a trans jack. I got a 2x4 and the big 3 ton, sorry. And I was able to go back and drop it enough to get the converter out. So now I did the exact same thing. I dropped it and the bell housings hits the headers, which is funky to me, which means I have to disconnect all that wiring that's all over the place to be able to, you know, pull the trans back out, because I think the wiring was holding everything back. But anyway, I have 2 of the bolts started on the bottom and pretty close to being aligned. I hope they can see that. I have the little leading edge of the converter, the pilot, into the flywheel, flex plate, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to slowly bring it in. I'm not going to hammer anything in. I'm going to make sure it seats properly, then see what the gap is on the converter against the flywheel, make sure it's not binding. And if everything looks kosher, just keep on trucking. Let's see if we can get this guy in. Alrighty, not bad. But half-hour work, just kind of making sure that the converter was seated properly. I started tightening these guys and it began to bind slightly, so I said, okay, it's not seated properly. I backed off the transmission, I wiggled the converter more, and it went in a little bit more, giving me the proper spacing I needed to be able to still be able to spin it independently of the flywheel / flex plate. Let me get the bolts back on the bell housing, get the cross member tightened up, and then start putting all the lines in, fill it with fluid, and keep on chugging, get the drive shaft in it, and see if we can get this car started today. That'd be pretty awesome. So a lot of the issues I was having before was access. So as you can tell, the top 2 housing bolts, bell housing bolts, sorry, are far away. So what I was doing before, I was reaching up from underneath here, like up through the header area with a wrench, and here I just bought a really long extension, and this is part of the, you know, the process of getting tools. You know, this makes it a lot easier. To take the trans out took a couple of hours. To put it in, I'm rolling up on 1 hour, and a couple of extensions, impact, and I like hand tools. I like just, you know, manually tightening things and then zapping it a couple of times, and then it should be good to go. Nice. So yeah, never underestimate the power of really long extensions. All right, so a couple hours here, and to be honest with you guys, I'm ecstatic. Everything went really well. The converter is bolted up, trans is in place. Everything went really well with the extensions that I bought, being held up by the cross members, being held up by the jack. So the next thing to do is put the proper spacers back there so I can mount the cross member. Once the cross member is in, I can work on the drive shaft, then the pipe. So for you it'll look like a second. For me it'll be 3 days because I have to leave town, but I wanted to at least get the trans up there, converter bolted in. Everything went really smooth, nothing really to report. So see you guys in a couple days, but for you it'll look like 1 second. It's about to rain pretty good. So I didn't want to bore you with the reinstallation of everything. After the torque converter was cinched down, straightforward. H-pipe, actually now it has an H-pipe. I took the X-pipe out of it, and the problem was, if you saw in my last video, that somebody tack welded everywhere. Tack weld, tack weld, tack weld, tack weld, tack weld, tack weld city. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy 2 brand new clamps. I'm gonna buy 2 brand new clamps for my brand new H-pipe. I'll leave this as is, hang it up somewhere, sandblast it, coat it, to remind me that these guys were tacked into place. And I also have this guy, which I technically can't hook up, but I don't have these replacement clamps, so I'm not really gonna stress it right now. So I checked trans fluid, seems to be really good. Torque converter has been cinched down, starter has been cinched down. This is the moment of truth where you go, fuck, did I fuck anything up? And hopefully everything starts okay and I can go through the gears, no weird sounds, I didn't damage the pump on the trans or anything like that. That's my hope, that's my hope. So let me set up the camera in such a way that it's off to the side, monitor for any leaks, let it run for a bit. Since it's up in the air, I can go through the gears after it's warmed up to make sure that the trans is doing what it's supposed to do, and then we'll see how everything goes. So let's see if this thing starts and goes through the gears. Okay, let's see how everything goes. Hopefully everything starts, goes off without a hitch. I'll move the camera around as needed. Put the jump box on there. Alright, car, treat me nice. Let me shut off the fan so I can hear any weird stuff. Yeah. Battery's dead. Ew, look at this jump box. Yep. I just want to stop working on the car today, so I got jumper cables. So let's get it started. Hopefully no leaks. Goes through the gears fine, and I can end this video. Because I want to eat. I have to work on the car for too long, and gotta get some new clamps anyway. So wish I could get this guy a little higher, but it's the best I can do. dipstick tube, I think, and it just kind of transfers its way down. So I want to make sure that's what it is. Sorry, let me get you sights and sounds. But overall, I'm really happy how everything went. Started up after the battery got some power to it. No ongoing leaks, meaning no pressurized leaks. Like if there's some drops here, I don't mind that, because whatever you did upon install might come down. But if you have like a sustained drip, yeah, that's when I start kind of being suspect. But I installed the new H pipe, so that's good. I'm gonna get some wire loom, get this kite cinched up so it looks more like this. But guys, overall, I'm really happy that I was able to take the trans down. Like, it might not be a big deal for, you know, the mechanic that really knows his shit. You know what I mean? Like the guy that does this shit in his sleep. You know, it might not be a big deal to him, but it's a big deal to me. Okay, you gotta understand. I don't want to work on cars, but I have to work on cars to get it done on a good timeline. And why not bring you content at the same time? So converter's in, car starts. I'm gonna end the video there. I know you guys probably want payoff, but I gotta space it out. So what I'm gonna do next is buy some clamps, because those are literally welded in, and don't get me started on that. Get some brand new clamps, and then I'm gonna start giving you guys the exhaust video. I'm gonna get the wire loom figured out, drop it on the ground, get exhaust in it, drive it, and see which exhaust ends up working best for the car. I suspect the MagnaFlow streets are gonna end up being the daddy, but the first ones I'm gonna install are the stockers. I'm gonna install the stockers with these over the axle pipes. And once I do that, I'll drive it, make sure the converter's doing what it's supposed to do, make sure the fluids are good, make sure there are no ongoing leaks after some road testing, and then give you some exhaust clips, you know, some getting on it type stuff, and then go ahead and install the MagnaFlow Street Series and see if that's the exhaust I'm gonna stay with at the end of the day. I really appreciate your guys' patience, your encouragement. A lot of you guys are really happy that I'm actually working on the cars on the ground. It's kind of old school, it's kind of grungy, it's kind of the way you would do it at home. I don't have the money, or let's just say, I have the ability to rent something out, but I just don't feel like paying or buying a building just to work on my cars. If it comes down to that, I'll do it, but as of now, I'll do as much as I can on the ground. Stay tuned for more exhaust videos on the GT500, drivability with the new Sprag. It's pretty cool. Pull the trans down, change the Sprag, put it back in there. In about 2 days of work, like honest work, not terrible. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Be on the lookout for more videos on the GT500 and the Fairmont, and a bunch of other shit working on the ground. Thanks for listening, guys.